Hey, welcome back, everybody. It's Ron with the Radiologic Technologist.com blog, YouTube channel, Instagram, yada, yada, yada. I am swamped with stuff to do and obviously wishing I was somewhere else. This is how I try to pretend I'm not working. But I have got to address an email that I got almost a week ago. So let me pull up my emails and find it, and let's get going on it. I did one yesterday for somebody else, and I meant to do the other one right after that. Here it is. It's from Scott. Scott says, I came across your website while looking up labor market info for X-ray technicians. Before you get upset, he addresses that. I also learned the difference between the radiologic technician and radiologic technologist. We need to make sure those of us in the industry are educated enough. We used to be called a technician in the early days, the 20s, 30s, 40s, 1940s. The first society that came out for X-ray had the word technician in it. And it wasn't until later that we became technologists. And so, and I was the same way. I was brought up in radiology to say we're technicians, fix machines, technologists, operate them. But in the grand scheme of things, let's pick our battles. That's not worth arguing over. And in truth, we were originally technicians. So let's move past that. I am in the very beginning, he says, of doing my humble research into the field and hope to start on my prereqs this fall at a junior college in California. I noticed there were a lot of certifications mentioned that would help me in my pursuits, but most of them had California in their names. I'm not sure what you got there, pal. California is unique. We all know that. They were the only ones to require their own fluoroscopy certificate or license, but that has changed. They no longer do that. In fact, I wonder if when I record, there's different ways I record these videos. This one I'm just pre-recording. But when I do them live or on YouTube that way, I have the comment section where I can post links for you that tag along with the video. And I can't necessarily do that this way unless I screen share, which I can do, I guess. But if you go to my blog, the Radiologic Technologist.com, there's a little search box on the right side. And if you type in the word California, it'll bring up an article that I wrote back when it's titled "No More California Fluoroscopy License Permit Exam If ARRT After 2011." So at some point prior to about a year ago, California felt like we weren't educated enough to know how to use fluoroscopy unless we went above and beyond, got some extra training and got an extra license, which is ridiculous. And they finally realized it. Now they say any students that graduate 2011 or after are now aptly educated to do fluoroscopy and don't need this extra license, which is how it should have been all along. But I digress. California, there shouldn't be extra licenses, extra certifications with California in its name. So if you want to post maybe in the comment section, Scott, what you're talking about, I'm not sure what it is. You may want to stay anonymous, so I won't use your last name. But maybe what you're talking about is, the different modalities that you can go to, because you are kind of just now checking out what we do. And there are a bunch of different modalities that you can go into from X-ray, MRI, CT, ultrasound, nuke med, PET scan, interventional, mammo, DEXA. I mean, there's just all kinds. That's one of the things I love about radiology is all the different things you can do on this career ladder. So you say this might go without saying, but would I have to get these certificates all over if I decide to work in Las Vegas? No. Once you go through an accredited program and you graduate, that allows you to sit for the board exam, the national board exam through the ARRT. Once you get that national certification, you're good to go, except whatever state you work in may require their own state licensure. Where I live right now in Idaho, there is no state licensure. You can literally not even have a license here and shoot X-rays. It's ridiculous. But before that freaks too many people out, the hospitals require the licensure they know better. That you'll get poor quality if you don't require a licensure. But that doesn't stop all the doctor's offices and places like that, urgent care clinics, doc in the box, whatever you want to call them. They'll hire students, they'll hire anybody and teach them how to push buttons. That's where the whole button pusher comes from. But no, you pass that ARRT state licensure, you get certified from the ARRT, and you're good to go. Just pick up your state licensure if needed, wherever you're working. Also, what do you know about the labor market and overall outlook of California? Well, I can tell you that we do not have enough X-ray technologists across the board, across the entire United States. Starting, I don't know, at least 5 years ago, I did a study when I was director at a certain hospital. I crunched the data, if you will, and determined that the amount of baby boomers in that older generation that are now in that retirement age, and also because of their age requiring more healthcare and therefore flooding the healthcare systems because they need help, because of that huge influx of patients, we are not able to keep up with the amount of studies that are being required because we don't have enough employees across the board, really, nursing included, anybody else. There are more patients hitting the healthcare system than we are ready to handle. And then you add to that all the healthcare workers that are baby boomer age that are retiring, and that's coming out of the worker pool. So you have even less employees to take care of the patients. You couple that with the COVID debacle and the mandatory vaccinations that got some people fired for not getting them done and all that stuff. There will be, for the foreseeable future, a constant need for not just X-ray techs, but everybody in healthcare. Plus, less people are going into healthcare now because of the overall environment. So, do I know about the overall labor market in California? Yeah, they're paying travelers 6 figures in X-ray. I mean, yeah, you're always going to need a job. Should I not bother with the technician preparation and just go for the technologist? Yes, but I will caution that. I'll preempt that by saying sometimes in life, people just need to get going and need to start making money. Sometimes, like for example, when I was younger and I needed to make more than minimum wage. I needed to make more than I was making when I was working at Blockbuster. I needed to make more than I could have made at a fast food restaurant. And so when I looked at the landscape and what I could do for a living, phlebotomy paid more, $5 an hour more than minimum wage or whatever. So I went through phlebotomy. It was a simple, I think, 3-month course, and I came out making decent money. And so technician, although kind of poo-pooed by our industry or by some of us in the industry, because it's kind of a shortcut. It allows you to go to school for a lot shorter period of time, but you also come out making a lot less money. But where it goes sideways is employers will start using that person to do a majority of the work that the full-on X-ray technologist would have done. And now there's less jobs for the technologist. And that's the rub, is we don't want to, and the same thing has happened in all kinds, doctors didn't like physician assistants because when they came out, they said they're trying to act like they're doctors and they're not doctors, and they didn't go to all the schooling we went to, and they shouldn't be doing what we do, and blah, blah, blah. Now you can't have healthcare without them because they are that relief valve because you don't have enough doctors to go around. So the PAs now help. Same thing for nurse anesthetists. The anesthesiologist said, absolutely no, we will not back nurse anesthetists. They are going to try to take our jobs, and we don't want that. We're not going to share our money, and we're against it. And then the anesthesiologist figured out, I can handle a lot bigger patient load if I have 4 nurse anesthetists working under me, and I can just oversee them, and I can make more money that way. And so I could see radiology moving that same way. We have no mid-level provider for radiologists. That's a huge void. We had the RPA program. It was out there for like 20 years at Weaver State, and we didn't get enough backing because the radiologist didn't get behind it. The ACR didn't get behind it. ARRT, ASRT didn't get behind it, and it finally closed. Although they tried to pick up the ball and open RRA, which is a mid-level provider per se, but they can't do as much as the RPAs used to do. And there are still RPAs out there, and God bless them. And I wanted to be one. And tried to. I was in the school, and the hospital I was doing my clinical rotations at closed, and you had to provide your own clinical rotation to be in that program. And so I tried to go back. They closed the program anyway. You can go to technician if you need to hurry up and get out there in the job market to make money, to make a living, to survive. Then if that's what you want to do, go to the technician, get it done, get to work, and get to making your money. Just know that you won't be able to do everything that a full-on technologist can do, and you won't make that kind of money. And I don't even know that you can progress to the other modalities. There's some talk now of somehow skirting the rules and regulations, allowing these LMRTs to get into advanced modalities, but that's a dicey subject, and I wouldn't count on it. And just know that there are bridge programs. A bridge meaning it'll take you from LMRT or the limited X-ray tech to a full-blown X-ray tech. It's schools offer it. It's like a year, whatever. You do more clinicals, more school. And the ARRT allows you to take the bridge program and sit for the ARRT boards and become a full-blown technologist. So that question on which should you do is up to how much time you have. If you have the time and the money, I would say be a full-blown tech, because then you're done. If you go be a limited tech, then you have to go back to school again, and you have to get more training, and you have to take another board exam. So why, nursing's the same way. They want you to go be a CNA first before you can be an RN, and there's some sense to that. It kind of lets you learn the job duties of a CNA, but really you pick that up as a nurse anyway. I think that's a money grab, but it's kind of like going from CNA to LPN to RN when you could just go straight to RN, right? But it depends on your timeline and what you're comfortable. I mean, I kind of did that in a way. I went to X-ray school, and then I went to ultrasound school, and went to bachelor's and master's and then doctorate. And so it just depends on your life, your schedule, your finances, your goals. But that's what I'll say about that. Now, the amount of information I read today left me feeling a little overwhelmed that I don't know where to start on or continue looking. I already have a Bachelor of Science in Healthcare Administration that I have been able to get a job with, and I just don't want to make a silly, uncalculated move and be stuck with another degree or certification that won't do me anything. Very smart comment. Just know that for one, because I've been in that position before, that bachelor's degree taught you more than you know, even at this point. In years to come, you'll realize that you learned other things. Even just going through the process of getting a degree teaches you how to adhere to timelines, how to appease professors, how to get projects turned in on time, how to manage projects. There's a lot of things you learn by getting your degree other than just the knowledge you were given to get that degree. But it will also, it could also bear fruit for you in the future if you take a management position, because you, in most places, have to have a bachelor's degree to get into management in radiology. Very rarely can you get in with an associate's anymore, and some are requiring masters. So it's good that your BS is in healthcare administration if you want to stay in healthcare, because that jives right in there. And you can go after a master's of healthcare now with that. It'd be an easy segue. I'm also confused about how long these extra certifications take, in addition to the educational curriculum, what they entail, and where to go to get this information. You're just going to have to share what you're talking about there. Extra certifications, the only ones I can even think of are just all the different modalities, which you can either go to school for or learn on the job. It depends on where you're at and what the society, the overseeing society says. Like nuke med, you really have to go back to school for that. Ultrasound, you can try to do it on the job. Some places do that, but it's really hard. I would say go back to school for that. PET's on the job training, MRI's on the job training, CT's on the job training, IR is on the job training. But what we're seeing as a trend is, as time goes by, more schools are going, how can we make more money? Well, there's no MRI program per se. Let's create this 6-class curriculum that only lasts 6 months. And maybe we can entice these hospitals to pay us for the schooling to send their employees to it so that they're more prepared, they're better techs, however they sell it. I think we'll start to see more and more collegiate classes or programs for our modalities, where in the past they were all, you could do them on the job training. So let me know what you're talking about there if you want more information. And then he says, some of the certifications I saw named were diagnostic or therapeutic radiologic technology certificate. Therapeutic rate. You might be talking about the rad techs that work over in the cancer center, which is a whole different school. And it's usually after X-ray school, but I'm hearing now that you can get into radiation therapy programs without being an ARRT first. Again, that's another change in our industry. Like, there are places now that are allowing you to go into MRI training without being an X-ray tech first, because technically there's no radiation in MRI. The old school said you got to be an X-ray tech first, then we'll cross train you. They wouldn't just take you off the streets, but now there's people kind of skirting that. So I don't know what diagnostic radiologic technology, you're either an X-ray tech or you're not. National Examination for Therapeutic Radiologic Technology Certificate. That sounds like the ART to me. I don't know. The site listed other California certifications such as Radiologic Technologist Fluoroscopy Permit. That's the one I already addressed. You don't have to do that anymore. The mammographic radiologic technology certificate. So mammography, like I was saying, is just a separate modality in the radiology department. You go to school to become an X-ray tech, and then you cross-train into mammography. And there's classes you can take, or there's on-the-job training. There's all these modalities have their own licensure. You have to go take a new board exam to be licensed in that modality. So mammography requires you to do so many exams and then go sit for a test and pass it, and then you're called a mammographer. The ART, X-ray technician limited permit, X-ray technician bone density. Yeah, so California venipuncture that's not even a thing. You don't need a certificate to draw blood. That's taught in the X-ray school. Yeah, CPR we all have to have. That's just basic life support. That's something you learn in X-ray school. They make you take a little test, you get a little card, no big deal. I think what you need to do is just maybe go shadow somebody if they'll let you. Go call an HR department at your local hospital and say, I'm interested in radiology. Can I shadow somebody in the X-ray department and just kind of get an overview of how it all works? I think I've got videos on that. You should be able to find all this information either on my YouTube channel or on my blog to talk. I've written articles about I've even written about app specialists that train you how to use the software, about PACS administrators, all the things that kind of tie into our world that aren't just technologists. So, I mean, I see why you're confused. You're new to the world of radiology, and there's a lot to it. And that's what this channel is all about, is helping people like you to make more sense of it, to determine if you want to be in it. Because back in the day when we jumped in it with both feet, we didn't know what the hell we were getting into until we were in it. So it was a huge list. I'm confused or if all these certificates I would need to be competitive. Thank you for reading my email. Any information provided, be grateful, as well as any information you think will be helpful. And anybody wants to get started, I will continue to review your website. Yeah. So Scott, I hope that helps some. What you're really talking about are just all the different modalities within radiology. And I think if you go to my channel and you look at the video I did that says the five reasons to get a job in radiology or whatever it is, I talk about all those modalities. Just know that things are changing. They're evolving like they should. The old days, you became an X-ray tech and then you got to cross-train into something else in the department. Now there's schools popping up for certain things. They're still cross-training on a lot of them, but you really got to kind of start somewhere and spend some time there and see what you think. Like if you go to X-ray school and learn how to be an X-ray tech and get a job as an X-ray tech, you will by default see all these other things. Unless, if your hospital has women's stuff in a women's clinic down the street, you won't see the mammographers, and DEXA scans may be done there, and they may do stereotactic biopsies there that you won't see. But as a guy, you won't get to do that anyway. So see if you can shadow at a local hospital, check out the department. If they won't let you do that for HIP or whatever, see if you can get a lunch date with a tech at the local hospital and just ask them if can I take you to lunch? or meet you on your lunch break just to ask you some questions about the job here and tell me what you think, or meet with the director, the radiology director or something like that, and tell me you're interested, or the head of your local school and talk to them. See, the school's going to want to know that you looked into this already because it makes you look like you're a more interested candidate than the other people who are applying to X-ray tech school that didn't do any research. Schools like to see that you're investigating this type of stuff so that you are more intelligent about what you're getting into. I'll stop there because I mean, there's all kinds of avenues we can go down here for you. I'll post this on YouTube here in a minute. I'll go to your email and I'll reply back to you that it's up there. And if you have any more questions, man, you can email them to me like you did, or you can post them here on the comments on YouTube, or go to my Facebook group and join there, the Radiologic Technologist group. Ask questions there. That group's really getting fabulous. There's over 5,000 texts there. I'd say any given question gets at least 10 or 11 answers, if not 30 or 40. So great group there for discussion, and hope that helps, man. I'm going to run. Talk to you later. Oh, it's a whole like and subscribe, right? That I'm supposed to say. Do that too.